Hello everyone. Today I'm going to color a coloring page, and I'm kind of testing this coloring page because I'm doing some coloring books, and I just wonder if this hat, which takes up most of the page, most people will color that black, and yes, it should be black. But you can use like your whole pencil or crayon just coloring this in, especially if you wanted it really, really black. So I did color the purple, and this is what it looks like when it's solid. And then I did just a light touch to the paper, and I blended it, and then I took a little black and I shaded it, and I really like the way that looks. So I am going to try this on this hat to see how that works, because I would like to add this into a coloring book. It is a design that I created a while ago. I think I started this in 2019. I was going to use it as a logo. It'll make a great sticker, but I was going to use it as a logo. And once I got the design tweaked the way I wanted to, it was too busy for me. So it'll make a great sticker. And then I thought, well, let me see what AI converts it to. So I put the drawing into AI, and it made a really nice drawing, but the colors, I really didn't like the colors, so we converted it into a coloring page. And I like it as a coloring page, but I'm not sure this will work. So to test it, I'm going to try coloring it myself. And while I'm doing that, I will tell you what's been going on in the studio. I'll tell you a little bit about my supplies today. I'm using Prismacolor. I don't know if you could see that, but Prismacolor colored pencils. This one is Dahlia Purple. It's PC 1009, and then their black is PC 935, and so that's just for the hat, just the hat part, not this rim here. I want to try and do that gold and the letters. I don't know yet, but I figured if I get the hat colored the way I like it, then the rest of it should be pretty easy, the background. And so we'll see how it goes. And as we move on here, the pencils. This is a great pencil sharpener. It's the Faber-Castell pencil sharpener, and it has a colored pencil sharpener, and it has two graphite sharpeners. I really like it. I have two, and I love them. And this paper is just copy paper that I copied the drawing on. Of course, in the coloring books, it would be heavier paper, but for now, I just figured I'm just trying to see as far as the drawing, the coloring of it goes. So the paper is not really important right now because I'm just picking right now the images I want to go into the coloring books. And the coloring books were inspired by the workbook Coloring Outside the Lines, which is almost done, and I'm really, really excited about that. But as I was preparing, because coloring is a form of art therapy, it is very relaxing. I really did like coloring as a kid, although I was meticulous about my coloring. Right now, when I have coloring books, usually I don't color in the book. I usually do a Xerox, I say Xerox, or a copy of the page, and then I color on it. So then if I decide I want to color that same image again, I can. Because once you color it, there's no taking the color off, unless you have a program that does that. I'm sure there are. But I find it nicer to just keep the coloring book the way it is. Of course, there are some that I color in the book, but many times I will take that page and make a copy and then color in the copy. And so we went over my supplies. So let's start talking about what's going on in the studio. I did mention the coloring books. I have enough material to make 2 books, and those will be probably while I'm getting the workbook ready, because I did look into, right now I'm making printers appointments, looking into copyrights, getting codes for barcodes and things like that, which is very exciting. I did find that copyright will take 6 months after I submit the mock-up. And so printer first, because I want to see if there's anything I could do or can't do or will save me money or whatever into the workbook, because the workbook did morph into a activity book of sorts. The workbook started out as just explaining what art therapy is, explaining the 7 disciplines of art therapy, because there's more than the visual art therapy. There's dance, there's music, there's theater, there's architecture, believe it or not. I always add photography because I believe photography is part of an art. It's a discipline. It's more like an art and science discipline, but I still believe it's a discipline. Can be, should be. So we'll see how, I mean, not we'll see, but so I added that to the workbook. But the workbook is now more than a workbook. It's like a 5-in-1 activity book, because I really wanted to put art therapy out there in everyone's hands. I wanted to be able to show someone how to create a habit of art therapy, and we could create a habit in a month. So the workbook became this month-long journal that you can utilize to create habits of art therapy. Of course, this one is more geared at a visual side, but you can pick any discipline that makes you comfortable. Art therapy is, I want to say it's easy. So is dance, though, and music. Everybody has music in their homes, and you could dance anywhere. And the thing with phones today, it gives you a camera in your pocket, so you could take pictures. You can, if you know, sunsets make you happy. My thing is, I love clouds. I love cloudy days, and I'll get out there and chase some clouds on a cloudy day and come home and look at my pictures and I say someday I'm going to paint all those clouds. They're just so pretty because they're all so different. And that's what I like about them. And I like when they're kind of stormy and there's so many layers of the grays and the blues. And when the sun sets, you've got the pinks and the yellows and the oranges. And it's just amazing to me how the sky could change, especially on a stormy day. The whole day, you could go through the day and watch one section of the sky and it'll look different at any given time. But when you don't have any clouds in the sky, it's really boring. So going back to, I got off on clouds, but going back to, yes, cameras in our pockets so we can take advantage of the things we like. If we like urban, graffiti, cars, we could take advantage of taking photographs of all of those things, and then you could make collages out of them. You could go home and use them for drawings. And there are so many applications right now that'll take your photos and make drawings. I find the best way sometimes to use a photo as a drawing, to draw a photo, is to, and this is really easy now on our cameras. This used to be harder to do, but change it into a black and white, because then you see the tones, the gray tones, and the white, where the shadows are, and it's easier to draw from that, because really when you're starting a drawing, it's not really all detailed. It is shapes. You take shapes and you follow the shapes, and then you get your drawing. So I'm still going off on a tangent here. We're talking about the workbook. Yes, it's almost done. It has morphed into a huge, huge book, and I'm excited to see what the printer tells me about it. I have a appointment really soon with them, and so working on that has kept me really, really busy. Working on the workbook, trying to get it finished, trying to do I'm doing my second edit right now, and I'm trying to get the whatever photographs and whatever drawings I'm going to use. I'm trying to get those all digitized and ready for the printer. So that's so exciting, and I am trying to get I'm thinking it's going to be spring, because once I get it to copyright, it's going to take 3 months. So I do have some PDFs coming out. In fact, in this month's blog on abracadabraimages.com, the November blog, it explains what art therapy is, and it also has a complimentary PDF. If you want to go ahead and download the PDF, it explains what the basic neurographic rules are. And once you have the basic rules, then you can add different elements to neurographic, because it has really taken off into many different directions, and it has itself changed over the years. So that would be fun to have, and then you can keep that, so whenever you wanted to do a neurographic drawing, which for me it's those are so meditative, you have the PDF. And when my workbook comes out, I wanted to create a community for everyone using the workbook, for feedback on what works for each individual, what doesn't work, what people enjoy, because I have my favorites, that's for sure. And I would like to hear what everyone else's favorites are. I also would like feedback, on the book. So when I change it, I could change it to what people are looking for, what they want to see more, practice more, that kind of thing. But unfortunately, I was going to do that at Facebook. But unfortunately, I can't get messages there anymore. And Facebook has been just one chaotic incident, dilemma, drama after another for me. I've been there a couple of years, and in the last couple of years, I've been scammed twice. Facebook has I don't know what you call it. They didn't actually delete my account, but they limited my account. So I wasn't getting messages. I'm not getting messages now. But there for a while, I couldn't post anything. I couldn't get into the account. And the only way I got their attention was to post all that stuff from, what the the silly scams were. So it just, like when I joined Instagram, and it was 2016. Instagram was basically for photographers, and it was a great place, and it still is. It's not as now you go on there and there's ads all the time and things like that. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. It was just art and photography and very little story. But it's changed. It's definitely changed. Facebook, though, I don't know if it's because there's so many people on it or what, but I could never be on it for more than 5 minutes before it either slowed down to a crawl on me or just froze altogether. So I was concerned about that, and I did post some stuff for my workbook on it. But after I could not get messages anymore, I decided it's time to go. So I left Facebook, and I am looking for a new place so I can build a community for coloring outside the lines. So we can all meet there. We could talk, we could chat. I would really, really like that. So until then, the questions that I have not been able to answer at Facebook in the recent, you could forward those to my website, abracadabraimages, and I'll be able to answer any questions about the workbook there, any questions about art therapy sessions, group sessions, Zoom sessions, and that. I will be here at YouTube, and I will also be at eBay now. I have opened an eBay store, and I posted my first piece of art there. It's a print that I do have on my website, and it was so easy. I heard my son, because my son always said, "I can't believe you haven't done that already, Mom. I can't believe you haven't done that already." But to me, it always seemed so complicated. And it once you get like your descriptions and that down, it was really easy. And I saw that a lot of artists do original art on eBay. So I don't hear a lot of bad things about people closing eBay shops as I do about them closing Etsy shops. And there's a couple of other ones out there where you hear, "Oh my God, they closed my store," or this or that, and it was over something silly. So I did my research. I want it simple. I want to be. So the camera shut off while I was smudging. And I was saying I want to be found, I think on the website, or so you can have all that information is on my link tree, which will be down in the description. And while I was talking and getting the black in and doing a lot of the shading of the black, the camera went off. And it does that to me. I had a problem this morning with it doing that to me. But I really was saying I really like the way this is coming out. And what I'll do is, because I like the way this is coming out, I don't want you to sit here and watch me for another 20 or so minutes coloring this. I might just either do a speed up, or I just might color it in and then show you what I got when we're done. This is what I was looking for, what I would imagined it looking like, doing the black over the purple. So I'm happy with that. I want the words to stand out, so I'm not gonna do too much of that. The shadow here. Would be darker in here. And that's, see, when I color, I like to do shading. And you don't have to. You don't have to do shading. That's what takes me so long. If I would just color it. And then color on the brim. And this is the film makes a shadow too. So let's see. If I smudge this down here would be really dark. And so I think I talked about everything going on in this. So this is my final drawing. I decided after the camera shut off for the second time that I was just gonna keep the camera off and finish it. As I was drawing it and trying to save some time, I thought of other things to do. Like I would have loved to have done the palette all splashy and other different things, but this is what it looked like. The paper, like I said, is copy paper, so it doesn't do what a heavier paper will do, but I'm happy with what it did. So I think I will add this into one of the books as a coloring page. What do you think? Do you think this would make a great coloring page, or do you think just having this big space of one color is too much? So let me know in the comments below what you think about maybe having to color in such a big area. And Until next time, create something because you always feel better when you do.